So everybody, welcome back to another video on the channel. Now this video will be talking about Antony swap deal for either Neto or Elise, and what would this mean for Manchester United. We'll be talking about what will happen, prices. Now I've done quite a lot of videos on Neto and Elise, and it is coming quite repetitive, but this is probably the last video I do on it, and if there's until there's any more breaking news. Now Manchester United, is obvious, it's been identified that they are looking to get in a new right winger, or a new winger anyway, with Antony and Sancho looking increasingly likely to leave Manchester United, most certainly Sancho anyway. The option for getting in a new right winger has massively increased, and the chances of us signing one have massively developed. And obviously the main two options at the minute are Neto and Elise, two very young wingers with a lot of prospect, Prem proven, and they do have a lot of potential. Now Erik ten Hag has seemingly identified them, Sir Jim Ineos as well, as options to explore. Now they are relatively cheap, they are different prices, and they both have their attributes. But let's talk about what we must do in order to allow both of them to come in. Now if you look at Manchester United wingers first, we've got Antony, Garnacho, Rashford. You can include Ahmad in there as well. And obviously Palestri's gone on loan. So we've got Antony, Rashford, Garnacho and Sancho. There are four preliminary wingers now. You've got Højlund in there as well. Martial's still here. But the main wingers, yeah, and you would, for one of Neto and Elise to come in, you would have to get rid of players. And I think the main one, obviously Sancho's going. And it would probably be Antony, and that's the rumours that are coming out now. Antony's a player who Manchester United will not make any profit off. They signed him for 100 million euros just last summer, and he hasn't hit the ground running. The potential that he does have, and he's still relatively young. I mean, bearing in mind he is still the same age as Neto and Elise. He's just finding it difficult to adapt to the Premier League, and that's something that he's found hard, and that's probably massively something that's halted him. There's some players that are just not cut out for the Premier League, and Antony may be one of them. I mean, you look at Nicolas Pepe, a player who had great potential, came to Arsenal, didn't work out. And Werner, I know he plays striker, another 50 million signing that didn't work out. So there are signings that just doesn't work out, and it's looking like Antony seeming to be one of them. There's no doubt, as I said, he's a skillful winger. I mean, we've seen the potential that he's had. He's done it for Brazil in games, he's done it for Eredivisie, and they are much slower, competitive games. The Premier League is a really fast and intense league, and we've seen that being proven. And yeah, it's unfortunate that Antony might have to leave. I mean, he's a player who Erik ten Hag massively trusts, and I think Erik ten Hag knows now that he's not really getting much back from Antony. He's given him lots of chances, started him in numerous of games, kind of switched his position that time as well, and he's not getting anything back, and that must be disappointing for ten Hag. I mean, he constantly backed Antony, and he is still going to back Antony to eventually when he gets sold. He's backed Antony to the fact that where he's had that issue off the pitch, he's not been starting games, and he just said it's down to form. Now Antony's a player we know who's very inconsistent. There was moments, I think it was during the Christmas period, where he was doing really well. They looked like a potential, and then he just went down again, and that's the inconsistency that many players have had. Even if you look at Manchester United, as I talked about other Premier League players, there's been players at Manchester United over the years that have not found it consistent. There've been some great wonder kids on there. You look at Januzaj. I remember he was when I was first started watching football. I remember watching him in a few games, and he looked really good, and it just didn't work out. I know he's the one. Obviously, Depay's another one. He was much older. Sanchez as well. There's literally been loads of players, and it's just the way it is. Some will work, some will not work out. And for Antony, it's not looking like that, and it opens a venue for Neto or Elise to come in. Now, Jadon Sancho, I think that's another one. It's just been inconsistency, fallouts with the manager, just didn't look right from him from the start. He came in as well for 85 million. Manchester United chased him for 2 summers. Brought him in as a right winger, wanted to play on the left, competition with Rashford, loads of managers. It just didn't work out for Sancho, and he's another player who's going to leave. So it could be a situation where it's probably very, very unlikely that Manchester United could sign 2 wingers. Obviously, we've got Ahmad in our ranks as well, who I massively rate. I think he's got great potential. I've seen loads of clips of him. I've seen him in games as well for Sunderland. I've seen him in games for Manchester United, but there's only been a few, and he has done really, really well. But let's talk about Neto or Elise. As I said, you already know my opinion on Neto or Elise. I did a video on it. But it's looking increasingly likely that Manchester United hierarchy will probably choose Elise now. He's a great player. Unfortunately, he does pick up quite a few injuries, and he is injured with Crystal Palace. I think his potential at such a young age is fantastic, and he is proven to be a great prospect. The outlook that he has, the potential that's there, the raw potential is absolutely fantastic. I might insert some clips now of him. He does look really, really good and competitive. The performance is certainly there, but it's just whether he can stay injury free, and I'm sure there's no doubt he'd be a great right winger. And I know City are looking at him with potentially obviously Bernardo Silva leaving. Mahrez has obviously left the last summer, so they are kind of struggling for that right hand side position. They could look at him, and I don't think, if Manchester United don't sign him, I think he'd definitely go to another club. Now, there's rumours that he's actually a Manchester United fan, so that could enable his chances to Manchester United. But you're not going to say no to a player like Elise. But yeah, that concludes the video. Don't forget to leave a like, comment and subscribe. Thanks for watching. Peace.